Joining me now is Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat of California, a member of January 6th committee, who investigated his colleague Scott Perry's role in the coup. Congressman Schiff is also the former chair of the Intelligence Committee, a group that Speaker Kevin McCarthy has vowed to remove him from now that Republicans hold the majority. Congressman, I want to talk about your role on the Intelligence Committee. Before we get to that, I want to ask about Scott Perry. What do you think about him being on this very important oversight committee?
Well, it would be absurd in any other circumstance, but it is sort of par for the course with Kevin McCarthy. He's beholden to the Scott Perrys and the Marjorie Taylor Greenes and the Lauren Boeberts. He'll give them the committees they want. He'll put them in prominent positions because if he loses any one of them, they could take down his speakership. So not a surprise. The White House may very well be right. This may be good for them because they will show their excess from day one by putting these crazy people on the Oversight Committee. It will discredit the very committee and any investigation they do. But for the country, it's going to be a terrible circus. They're going to do what they can to interfere with the Justice Department investigation of Donald Trump and his enablers in these multiple lines of effort to overturn the election, and have someone who's implicated in it all, like Perry, being one of those. Reminds me a lot, frankly, of the Republicans during the Russia investigation, during the Ukraine investigation, how they essentially were acting as defense counsel for Donald Trump. It's going to happen again.
On the question of subpoenas, there's an interesting set of facts here, right? So Scott Perry himself was subpoenaed, which he defied. He's now promising many subpoenas of his own. You've been on this program before talking about the need to basically increase the enforceability of congressional subpoenas. But of course, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? They now control the House. How do you see the power of subpoenas playing out and the notion of people that themselves defy congressional subpoenas being in on issuing them to other people?
Yeah, well, there's no shame. There's no realization of the hypocrisy of what they're about to do. But this is a constant challenge that we face, and that is we have to point out the falsehood of this effort at equivalence. Because Democrats conducted legitimate investigations of things like Donald Trump's role in January 6th and the role of many others, it doesn't justify somehow Republicans engaging in just vexatious litigation or oversight meant to harass the Biden administration. Endless hearings about Hunter Biden's laptop, for example. There is no equivalence. We were attacked on January 6th. There were multiple lines of effort to overturn the election. It is not the same thing as what Republicans are about to do. So I think it's going to be important for us to point out what is legitimate and what is illegitimate, and not let them blur the distinction into trying to claim, well, we're just doing what the Democrats did.
In terms of this kind of equivalence or tit for tat, right, one of the places you see this is with committee assignments. Democrats have voted to strip both Paul Gosar and Marjorie Taylor Greene of their committee assignments in the wake of either new comments they made or revealed comments they made, sort of advocating violence, saying that Nancy Pelosi had committed treason, which is punishable by death. Paul Gosar issuing a video that showed himself murdering his colleague, AOC. In response, Kevin McCarthy has promised to target several Democratic lawmakers, chief among them you, and remove you from your current role on the Intelligence Committee. How does that work? Can he do that?
He may very well be able to do that. It's a select committee rather than the usual kind of standing committee in the House. So he may or may not even need to bring it to a vote on the House floor. But again, this is Kevin McCarthy bowing to the most extreme elements of his conference. And in order to get the support of Marjorie Taylor Greene, he had to promise retribution. But I think in the bigger scheme of things, what's more important is they're going to engage in this bogus investigation process that they're going to call oversight. It is not oversight. But at the same time, they want to try to remove Democrats from key positions to prevent them from effectively fighting back. McCarthy doesn't like what I did in holding Trump accountable. He doesn't like what I do in holding him accountable. The same is true of my colleague on the Intelligence Committee, Eric Swalwell. So there's this effort, I think, to try to decapitate those who would hold them accountable and responsible by removing them from committees. That's a big part of the equation, too.
So I think there's two ways to view the Oversight Committee and broadly oversight activities of the Republicans. One is that this could produce real political harm. because it can create this sort of endless churn of stories, which, and again, they might uncover some actual wrongdoing. I don't want to put that outside the realm of possibility. I don't know. But the other is that basically the truth will out, right? So the other way to think about it is the way that the Durham counter investigation ended up happening, right? That for all of the segments on Fox News he was able to deliver, and that's no small thing when you're trying to make an hour of cable news every night, he was not able to actually produce anything at all, and the whole thing was a flop. Like, which of those two do you think are more likely here?
Well, I think that almost immediately they will overplay their hand. They will make sensational allegations, which they will not be able to prove because they're simply untrue. So yes, I think you're exactly right. It will be fodder for the Fox News machine. It will be fodder for some of their right-wing base, which is all they care about and all they play to. But at the end of the day, it will be a lot of storm and fury signifying nothing. And I think it is probably the quickest ticket to the end of their majority. This is one of the narrowest Republican majorities in history. It's also going to likely be the shortest Republican majority in history, particularly if they put, these kind of circus characters and clowns on these important committees.
You're obviously from California, represent parts of Los Angeles and Southern California. The senior senator from your state, Dianne Feinstein, would be 91 were she to run for re-election in 2024. Many people anticipate she will not do that. Katie Porter has announced that she will be running for U.S. Senate. There's been reporting that Barbara Lee, another member of the House California delegation from Northern California, Oakland, might run as well. And there's been reporting that you will throw your hat in the ring. Are you planning to run for Senate?
The focus I've had over the last few weeks has been really on our storm, and I'm grateful the president came out today to survey the damage. That's where all of our focus should be while our fellow citizens in California have been suffering. Happily, the storm is coming to an end. I will have more to say on this subject soon, but I've been really focused on trying to make sure that I protect my constituents and others around the state from the ravages of climate change.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you so much for your time tonight.